Boop.
What's going on? Took
Wait,
us a
hold on.
while.
Boop.
We're out
Boop.
of we don't know what we're doing anymore. These co-streams and stuff, they're all
Yeah.
difficult.
Seriously.
I still haven't
and
seen Skiz come out of his. Where's
I'm
he?
there.
he
I forgot to
is.
unmute it.
There he is. It's funny. I've got like all of these like little kid stuff behind me, like stuffed animals and stuff. It's no fancy green screen. I'm like frozen too on my screen. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, you're frozen on mine too.
That's
Well,
a good look at least.
We won't be posting anything that's not teen rated. We won't be saying anything that's not teen rated, I think. We should be okay.
No, we should be okay. But yeah, you got lucky with that freeze frame there, McBean.
I did. It could have been a lot worse.
My luck, it would have been this. And I know.
Back to him.
Man, it's still doing that. What the heck?
Oh,
Gosh, fix it.
Dude, this is technology. I don't know how to do this.
Stream anymore.
As
I thought
long
you
as
had
you
a
can hear.
fancy computer there, McBean, don't you?
I do, but I haven't. The last time I streamed was about a year and a half ago when season 7 ended in our last Game of Thrones review show. That's how
Yeah.
long it's been.
Oh, man.
I think I've
Yeah,
had
it's been a
12
while.
kids by then.
It's been a while. He was still on
But
like
we-
OBS 2.0.
I was. It was bad.
You know what? You know what, McBean? You're a step ahead of where I was in our first stream of last season because mine was in the hotel room and it was audio only.
Ooh, that's true.
At least you have a refresh rate of 1 frame every 10 minutes.
Your audio's good.
boy.
How's audio
That's all
on
that
mine?
matters.
You
Are
guys
you-
hear any music in the background and stuff? Should be pretty quiet, I hope.
Let me see here.
So we got to get this out of the way. My voice is a little soft. I'll turn it up. Is that better?
Take care of that.
Maybe I have the mic too far. There we go. Cool. Yay, better. Just to make sure everybody here has seen episode 1, season 8, right? Because
Spoilers!
that's what we're here to talk about. So,
I have not.
Yeah.
We were supposed to watch the episode, you're saying.
oh,
I thought we were just watching it together.
Ooh.
You have seen it.
Okay, a little bit.
That's all right, I guess. So it's great to be back, guys. That took forever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
McBean, how long was it? You're very in tune with this stuff. How long has it, like, how long ago was last season?
It was like a year and a half ago. Almost 2 years ago, really.
See, 2 years. Let me in chat
Yeah.
right there. And that's
Yeah,
what it
2
felt like. It
years.
was about 2 years.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
But-
actually, I
and
think
the
it's
sad
like
thing
that.
is, this is it. This is it.
I know. I don't want to talk about that. Don't
But,
say awful
6,
things.
right? 6 episodes.
So there's 6 episodes, and the first 2 episodes, I think it's the first 2. Yeah, the first 2 are about an hour long, about 50-something minutes. Typical Game of Thrones, episode length. But the last 4, I think it is, are right around an hour and a half each.
Wow.
So yeah, we're gonna get a lot of
Crazy town.
goodness.
Crazy town. That's gonna be cool. So we got hopefully 6 of these reviews, unless something happens and we have to miss one or something. I know next week Skiz won't be here, so McBean, you and I are gonna have to handle the load. I
Yeah,
guess.
hopefully.
Fort.
We'll do our best.
Right now, Jon Snow's like right over him right now. That's kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
He's got his eye on me. Hey, stop looking at me.
I like your stein there, Skiz. Got a nice stein.
This is how it's water.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I have to open a can of water.
That's what.
All right.
Must have been sparkling water. I heard carbonation.
Yeah, that's
Good.
right.
Flavored sparkling
Sparkling
water.
water.
526 days it's been. Wow.
Wow.
That's a long time.
Wow, unreal.
That is
All
a
right,
long
hey.
time.
So let me get us started here, and McBean, I'm probably going to have you drive some of the images. Anybody who's new to what we're doing here, we like to show some of the great images and talk about the significance of that scene and everything. And here's the thing: anybody who's, like I said, who's new to this is sort of a bit of a kinship between McBean and Impulse and myself. Is that all 3 of us? We don't like Game of Thrones. We absolutely love it, and I love the trivia of it, and I love the depth of the stories and the layers, but nobody holds a candle to the Game of Thrones acumen like McBean, because first of all, he's read all the books, and I tried to read one of the books, and I'm actually a reader, and I'm like, I gave up. I'm like, I can't do it because there's like 50 more characters, and every single one of them has 3 names. I just couldn't keep up. So McBean is just one heck of a source in regards to somebody to reach out to, right? So these conversations are a lot of fun because there's so much depth to it and so much background and history and a lot of the topics that you're seeing there. A lot of it, and I mean, tell me if I'm wrong here, Mkbean, but a lot of it is sort of lost on the common viewer of Game of Thrones, right? There's things happening
absolutely.
where you're like, if you had read the book from like 10 years ago, that scene would make so much more sense and stuff like that.
Yeah, they'll throw in those little things, right, just for the book readers. And a lot of times, you don't know, like you said, but the book reader knows that, and that's the great thing about it. And we're getting started here, and this was the best part, right? Not the best part, but it's like it started with a new intro, right? The intro was already awesome, and it changed, had little tweaks every now and then, and I was wondering what's going to be different. 100% different.
Yeah.
I mean, it was completely different, which is great.
Look at this. I mean, they're like going inside places now. Like
they're going to go into the crypts here. They're going into the crypts of winter.
Oh, amazing.
You know?
So Impulse and I were actually watching this last night, and I was like, "That's the first time they've ever gone inside." Yeah. And they're like detailed inside too. I couldn't blink just through this opening scene here. People, if there's anybody who has not actually watched it, I want you to stick around, but I really don't. We're going to be doing some serious spoilers here, and this show is way too good.
Actually, there's some amazing. I don't know if you can back up a little bit to where the bar was there, Impulse. I hate to put you on the spot here. Kind of that, right? All right, let it play from there. So what you'll notice is, it's like when the little bar thing comes up, the traditional kind of Game of Thrones thing that has like the sigils and stuff on it. That one was very interesting that came up because it actually has like significance to past events that have occurred within the show. And so it's going to be coming up here. I think it's right after the crypts here. But I believe this is the one we're right here. Yeah. Let's see. Can you pause that? Oh, no. Yep. So it's just that. So it's little. No, that's it right there. So in the middle right there, that's actually a dire wolf, I believe, with its head cut off.
Wait, and look on the right side.
Yeah.
Somebody's holding it.
Yeah. And right, this is all reckoning back to the Red Wedding, right? Season 3, episode 9.
How could
and then on the left-hand side, you've got a Lannister lion, and it has a fish, a Tully fish, right? Catelyn was a Tully before she was a Stark. So they even redid this. Look, even between in the middle there, it's the twins from the phrase. They have the twins that they have to cross over. This is the detail that they put into this show, and this portion is crazy.
Wow.
Wait a minute. Why are you saying that this is a throwback to the Red Wedding? This feels
because
like
well, first off, right, that's where Robb Stark was killed.
Right.
And then they decapitated him, and they sewed his head onto Greywind, his direwolf, right?
They did? I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's terrible.
I know, right? It's just...
That's mean.
It's crazy. And that's what throughout this go ahead and you can play this, but it's the little details like this and this intro that's like, it's a new intro, but it's so much to see.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about this intro now is that they really only show a few locations, right? Because there's not a lot left, right? There's Winterfell.
Yeah,
and now
ended up in the same places.
Yeah, now we're in King's Landing now, right? So it's like very few.
Next week, there's going to be 2 places. That's it.
Hey, Mkbean, Kelly Chloe's asking, was that in the book or the show? Because I do not remember that being in the show.
That was in both. Absolutely.
No, it was not. You're saying that they cut off Robb's head and put it on his wolf.
Well, they didn't show them cutting his head off, but they showed they showed the opposite. They showed the wolf's head on his body.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, I don't remember that. All right, well, you know what? Well, I said you're the king, and you're the king.
Oh, that was spectacular right there. The throne. That's great.
Yeah.
Look at this. Yeah, what a mesmerizing intro.
That's unreal.
Oh, man. Right there. That just gets you pumped, doesn't it?
Oh, dude.
How cool. How cool.
All right, I'm going to tweet the picture out now so you can see that Red Wedding one there. But yeah, it's
I'm never watching the Red Wedding episode ever again.
No, that's a heartbreaker, man.
That one I couldn't hang. I could not hang. So let's hit the rubber to the road here. Yeah, let's get some images going on. Now here's a good little disclosure. I don't know what images we're going to be covering here. Ooh, this was good.
Yeah. So yeah, we kick it off, right? And I think they purposely kicked the season off to really mirror the first season, episode 1, when Robert Baratheon and Queen Cersei was coming to Winterfell, right? They had this huge procession coming to Winterfell, and they were kind of mimicking that with Jon and Dany coming.
Yeah. So Impulse and I were watching a little bit after the show last night. There was like separate little pieces you could watch that gave some depth on that, and that was one of the things that they had said.
Yeah.
And there's a very deliberate scene in there, and if I'm spoiling one of the pictures, I apologize, but there's a scene where there's this little kid trying to get a glimpse of Dany and Rob, and they're trying so hard. Wait, John, and they're trying to. This little kid's trying to find. Everybody's too tall, and the kid's running. And he's trying to look through people, and he finally sees a tree, and he climbs the tree. He just wants to get a glimpse of this. Well, during the process of this little kid running by, he runs by Ari, who now is like a grown woman, and she just sort of smirks at him. And that was a throwback to that first episode, you know, on how she was trying to get a glimpse, and so was Bran. And it was interesting because that was really not a homage to the characters. That was a homage, in my opinion, to the viewer base. As in, if you got what just happened, thanks for sticking around. Because it's been like 8 years or however long it's been going on. 10.
It was really cool
I
to
don't
see.
know.
I think it was more of just showing, like, look at she's the grown up one now, and there's a new generation coming up kind of thing. So that was cool to see.
It was interesting. I mean, even, you know, she's watching, right? And again, you know, she's no one, right? She's a faceless man, right? And she's watching, and even if one of them who knew her looked, they wouldn't even recognize her. She's grown up so much since that first, you know, since they've seen her, which has been, you know, forever. And, you know, she saw Jon, she saw Dany, she saw the Hound, she saw Gendry, she saw all of them through that procession right there, right? And there you can kind of see her. And I think this is actually a shot when actually she's looking at the Hound, where she's kind of like, you know, this is one of those guys, you know?
Yeah, they have a little history. And that's Macy Williams right there, and she has grown, man. She's like, she was such a little, like a teeny tiny troublemaker, and now she's just this grown woman who's very, very dangerous.
A talented actress as well, very talented.
She is
crazy good.
Yeah,
crazy good.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that was interesting. So they had, you know, before, I'm going to go back a slide because we jumped right to Arya there, but you know, them even choosing to ride into town was a risk, right? They were afraid that the North would be so upset, you know, with Dany pulling in that they might take shots at her and stuff. So for them to march in right like this, that was kind of bold.
Yeah.
And you could see the looks on the Northerners' faces. They weren't too happy to see her, you know. There was definitely
Nope, not at all.
some cross looks being shot at her.
I have a question for you, Mkbean, and Impulse, because there's not really an answer. I want to get your perspective on this. So before we watched the new episode last night, we watched the final episode of last season, which was, as we all know, came out like 50 years ago.
Right. Was it black and white?
It was just.
It wasn't even HD, man.
It was etched in stone.
I had to watch it on a tube TV.
And one of the moments was, if you remember, there was some contention in regards to whether or not Dany was going to actually travel with Jon on this voyage, right? And just like what Impulse was saying, was they had brought up all it takes is, you know, one Northerner with a crossbow who wants to be a hero, and she had decided, you know, she's going to do it. Now Jon had said, if we want to display power, we want to, you know, show like that we're united and all this stuff. It's important that we're seen together. Now that's obviously all well and good, and it makes sense. But here's a question. Do you think that her intention in saying, yes, we ride together, was more about what he had said in regards to that it's a display of power and unity, or that she was really feeling drawn to him and she wanted an opportunity to get closer?
I felt like it was more of a power show. And the reason I think that is because when her dragons flew in, there was a smirk on her face. Like, yep. You know, she saw the people, like, kind of panic a little bit and just get a sheer sense of what she's bringing to town. And she had a little smirk on her face, like, yep, yeah, now you know. I'm not to be messed with, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that as well. That's exactly what I think it is.
Leave, Aussie. I don't want to ruin this for you. I mean, I wish you could stick around, but I don't want to ruin this for you. It's too good of a show. So thank you for wanting to stick around, but if you haven't seen it, you got to bail. She
is all about power. And so, yeah, absolutely. I think that's what it is. They got close enough on that boat where I didn't think she needed to, anything else.
Did they? They got pretty close.
They got kind of close.
Yeah,
He might regret that later. Jumping ahead.
Yeah. No, I agree though. I agree, Impulse, is that she is about the power. Anybody in a position of leadership is about the power. John's the only one that doesn't actually fit that mold, but
Really
anybody
doesn't.
who's in a position of power is all about the power. I agree with that. She likes to do that with the dragons, no doubt. That's why I actually brought up the question, because it seems pretty obvious that it's about the power. But is it? There was something. I had to watch that episode a second time. And the way she chose when she said we ride together, I'm like, I don't think her intention was entirely about the power. And somebody in the chat, it already scrolled up, but somebody had said, I think it's a little bit of both. Or no, right there, Sam said it, probably both, or for both of them. And I agree with it. I think that they both were aware that from a strategic standpoint, it was the thing to do, but they were both obviously quite drawn to each other. So I thought that was interesting watching it a second time.
Yeah, for sure. So Mkbean said it. I can't remember if it was a tweet or what, but you said the name of the episode was Winterfell, but it really should have been reunions, right?
It really should have been, right? There's so many reunions in the show.
Yeah, and here's a big one, right? I mean, how long has it been? How long has it been since they've seen each other? I guess it's not since
season 1, episode 2.
Yeah. See, dude? See? Okay, hold on. I have a question for you, Mkbean. Watching, and I don't know if there's a picture of it later, but when John sees Ari, that is a heck of an embrace. And I remember thinking, I don't think they've seen each other since
season
the first
1,
episode.
Episode 2. Yeah, so episode 2 was the episode that John left to go north to the wall with his uncle Benjen.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's crazy, right? I mean, it's been that long.
That is unbelievable. And here's look at him, and I don't know. I don't remember the actor's name who plays Bran.
I think it's Isaac something.
Isaac, yeah.
He's amazing. He's amazing because he's not Bran anymore, and the way just his neutral approach and his very stoic presence and everything that he does and it's very because this character is aware that he's not actually Bran. Yeah. He's aware that he looks like Bran. He also knows that he's not Bran.
There was a deep moment, if you caught it, where John says, geez, you're like a man now. And Bran said, almost. And
meaning that he's
insightful.
Like almost alive, if you will. You know what I mean?
Right. Like he knows he's not quite a normal man. Right. So that was an interesting, little insight that he has a, self-realization going on at the same time there. So
yeah, and I don't have a picture of it, but and I don't think I have a picture. We're not going to go over any of them, but something to kind of talk about here is the interaction, and it started from the very beginning, right here, between Sansa and Dany, right? There was this tension between the two of them, the entire episode, and even, again, they mirrored this to the first episode where, she even says exactly what Ned said, right? Winterfell is yours, right? Your Grace, Winterfell is yours. That's what he said to Robert Baratheon. But you can tell she's kind of like, I don't know if I trust her, right? She's, because think about it. Her history with queens is Cersei, right? Somebody who isn't trustworthy, somebody who also is all about the power.
That's a good point.
And that's kind of what she knows. And that's what she's learned from. So she's very skeptical. Now, I personally think a couple episodes they're going to be BFFs. They're going to be.
I think so too.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, I think so too, and I'm inclined to agree with that. But I definitely picked up on that. The way Sansa looked her up and down, I was like, "Whoa, take it easy."
Yeah, and it was crazy here. Also, they're talking and stuff, and then Bran just, in typical, three-eyed raven fashion, right? Just kind of just lays it out there for everybody. Come on, we got to go. The Night King's got one of your dragons. The wall's broken down, and let's get inside. Let's talk strategy. Right? He's all business now.
Yeah, because he knows how much time they have based on what he's seen. So,
dude, you know what I love? I love it when there's a scene between two people, and it gets kind of intense, and they're talking and whatever, and then they kind of go their separate ways, or one of them finds themselves in deep thought about something, or there's some sort of underlying message, and then one of the characters looks down the hall or whatever, and the camera goes over, and it's just Bran just like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every time he does that, I'm like, God, I would be like, can you knock or something? I don't like that you know everything and you're always watching me.
Yeah, he was pretty creepy this episode. I don't remember him
Yeah.
being that creepy before, but yeah, it was
No,
pretty
he
weird.
was last year, right? Now I'll tell you, he was creepy last year because Mira Reed, who was with him up north, right? She basically left him to go home for her family, and she's like, "You're not even human anymore, right?" Even last year, the creep factor was up.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's not human.
So Draconis says not creepy, solemn and all knowing now. So I could see
Yeah.
that, I guess. I mean, he just
No, he is on-
it
he's
appears
on-
creepy,
he's-
but it's because he's got that stature because of what he
Mhm.
is.
But how much does he know? That's the interesting
Everything.
thing. Okay, everything. So if he knows everything, why not just lay out plans for it? But I agree, something that we're going to get to later. He obviously knows what's going to happen. He foretells that in this episode. So I just want to know, like, how far ahead can he see that? That's where I'm still confused
No, I'm
about
with
him.
you on that. And the way I look at it in regards to, so I didn't know about enough about the foresight, but the fact that I don't think he just can. I think, let me put it this way. I don't think he knows everything, but I think he has the ability to know everything. And what I mean by that is, if you go back to the last episode of last season, when they took care of Littlefinger, they took care of him. When he busted out that information in regards to what Littlefinger had said into Ned Stark's ear,
Mhm.
when he busted that out, it wasn't like he went into that room loaded with that information. It was like he had to experience that moment of Littlefinger to bring up that information. So I think information just becomes readily available when it's valuable. You know what I'm saying? And I think in terms of, if he knows everything, then why not this, why not that? I look at this a lot in regards to, like, when there's a movie that has time travel. You don't want to think too hard about it, just kind of go along for the ride type thing. And the bottom line is Bran is just, he knows more than anybody else, and the information will always present itself when it needs to be presented to it for whatever the situation is.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. All right, let's move on.
All right.
Do it.
Going back down south.
Yeah. We're on Euron Greyjoy, one of his ships here. He's got the Iron Fleet, and he's bringing back the Golden Company, which is a sellsword company. I don't know where they were on Essos, obviously, but he's bringing them back. And here you can see a picture of their captain, Harry Strickland. And what I'm geeking out about here is his sword, right? Is that the sword that I think all book readers are hoping it is? Because Harry Strickland, and the captain of the Golden Company, this sword gets passed down to captain to captain to captain, and it's a Valyrian steel sword. So, there's very few of them in the world, right, in this universe. And so I'm just hoping that nice big sword he has there is actually a true Valyrian steel sword.
So can you, what is the name of this art with this fleet? What did you call them?
Golden Company. That's why they're all wearing gold. At least it looks that way, right?
I'm embarrassed. I don't remember this scene.
Yeah, so this happened right after the reunion. And if you remember, again, last year, the Iron Bank came to talk to Cersei about, hey, you've paid your debts. Wonderful. And she's like, hey, I've got some more money. How about, you send us, feed us a little bit more money here. And she uses that money to get the Golden Company to help them fight off, Dany and Jon and everybody else.
Oh, wow. Jeez. See, people? Mkbean.
That's why
The
we
czar. The GOT
our
czar.
GOT historian.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I can't wait to see how his character progresses, because the captain, that is, because he's one of the new characters they've run into the show so far this season, right?
Yeah, it's going to be kind of interesting, right? He's a sellsword, right? And we know how sellswords are, right? They are very, they go where the money is. But here's the thing. He's also a pretty honorable person. The Golden Company, they have a thing. They've never broken a contract. That's their thing, right? You hire them, they are with you no matter what. And I have a feeling he's going to see what's actually going on here. I think he's going to be the first captain or commander of the Golden Company to break a contract.
Oh,
so wow. I think it's actually going to turn bad for Cersei here.
Talking about the
that's
elephants.
like
there were no elephants on this boat. Yeah.
That's like a Lannister always pays its debts.
Yep.
Same thing, right? It's all about that credibility, man. All right, what's next? Come on, what's next on the docket?
Oh, okay. We're gonna get a little darker, I think. Well, not quite yet, but
No, little Ned.
when you watch the episode, you know what's gonna happen to him. We'll get to that later, but yeah, this was interesting. It always throws me off when there's like a little kid that's like, "My kingdom needs this." I'm like,
Yeah.
"What are you? Why are you running a kingdom?"
Yeah, they called his kingdom. That little kid like put down his Game Boy. He's all, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. They woke him up at nap time.
Yeah.
Poor little guy. Yeah, you know, this was interesting, right? Because a lot of stuff actually happened in this or this portion right here. I mean, obviously, you know, he didn't come back with anybody, and they send him on this thing. All right, go back north and, you know, get your people. We'll give you some horses here. But this is also, I think, where Sansa, she asked the question, you know, how are we going to feed all of these people that have just come up here, right? You brought these armies with you, you know, and then she brings up the wonderful question, what do dragons even eat, right?
That was good.
And you remember how
Whatever
Danny
they
answered
want.
it? Whatever they want. And she was speaking not only for the dragons, but for herself.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Ah.
Yeah. But you can see why Sansa would be upset, right? I mean, like, just all of a sudden she goes from, you know, leading the North to, like, having to be a host to 10,000 people and 2 dragons, like, out of nowhere. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, thanks for, could have, like, RSVP'd or something, you know?
Oh, warning. Maybe bring some food.
Yeah. Bring food with you, yeah. You know, you do know it's cold up here. Kind of hard to grow stuff.
She's like, you know, we have 5 toilets, right?
How are we going to do this?
Oh, man. Oh, and then there's a very powerful moment that came up next. This one was interesting.
Yeah.
This girl is not aging, by the way.
I know.
I mean, seriously, like, Arya, you can tell she's aged. She's only been like in 2 or 3 seasons, but that's been like 3 or 4 years. She looks as young as she did the first time we saw her.
Yeah, she's got one of those young-looking faces.
Lyanna Mormont, right? The Lady of Bear Island.
I feel like there could be entire books or TV shows just centered around this character.
Right. She's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, there could be many split offs on just following a character and where they came from and how they got here type of thing. That would be really cool.
Now,
In fact, Mkbean, isn't there supposed to... Are they going to... Aren't they? Are they going to do like another whole series? On this
so they are. Yeah. They're working right now on the prequel, which happens like 5,000-10,000 years into the past, right? How this all kind of happened with the first men and so forth. Yeah.
Jeez, 5,000-10,000 years. That's too much.
I know, huh? Whatever it is, I don't know. They don't even know.
We want to see Ned come into power. Come on.
I'm just here for Daenerys, dude. I don't think she was there 5,000-10,000 years.
And I've said this before. That's the best thing about these books and this series is that throughout the book series, there's the present, but then there's the previous generation that they always kind of refer back to, and it's that depth in the story that I think really gets you. Yeah, exactly. I would love to see not Rhaegar's rebellion. I like how you put that, though. It was Robert's rebellion. So one of the things, guys, it's probably just me that thinks this, but she's questioning Jon Snow here. She's like, hey, listen, we crowned you king in the north, and you came back, and that's not you anymore. I got this little feeling in my gut, and this little feeling in my gut, it was a name. And his name was Ollie. Do you guys remember Ollie?
I do.
I don't.
I'm hoping she doesn't kind of, get burned a little too much and think, you know what? I'm going to have to go Ollie on him and change sides here. You know what I mean? I don't want to see that from her.
I don't either. And I don't think she will.
Uh-oh.
There's something about that character that seems...
Oh.
What's that?
So we're getting hosted by Channel 1 at the moment, and we're doing a Game of Thrones review. And there's a lot of people probably in Channel 1 that did not see Game of Thrones. So, if you're in Channel 1...
Spoilers.
And you did not see Game of Thrones, these are spoilers like crazy. You may want to mute the tab for however 15 minutes or so. Sorry about that.
Yeah, just like that. It was, 5,300 people in now. Yeah, if you... say it one more. I feel compelled to say it over and over
again.
Yeah,
anyone watching from Channel 1, we are chatting Game of Thrones, Episode 1, Season 8. If you didn't see it, make sure
It's
you
spoilers.
mute and watch something else for 15 minutes. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Yeah.
I should have opted
That's
out of Channel 1 for this. I didn't think of that. But it's good to have you here. If you did, welcome. We're gonna chat Game of Thrones every week. So if you do watch Game of Thrones, hit the follow button. Come on back. Now you hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, I'm just going to say it. Everybody, do me a favor, just real quick, because I hold dear to this. If you're in the chat and you're listening, just please type GOT spoiler alert and just let it zip through the chat here, because I don't want
Let
anybody
them
coming in
know.
and being upset that they happen to tune in at the wrong time.
Yeah. There you go.
There we go.
Tomorrow
Thank you
They've
very
got their
much.
warning. They've got their warning. So,
Mhm.
all right. Hopefully, if they're still here,
perfect.
then they know, and it's up to them. A lot of them are muting us anyway because they're just earning their sparks, so it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, back to the show.
All
right.
right, let's hit the next one. Yeah. So again, I hope she doesn't go that route, and I don't know if she will. But again, what was the show? It was a show of reunions, and here we go. We get a great reunion of Tyrion and Sansa, and I didn't have a picture of both of them together. They really weren't close to each other in the pictures and in the scenes, but they haven't seen each other since the Purple Wedding, right when Joffrey died. So
That was
it
good.
was kind of funny. It's like kind of a
That was a
dread
good
affair.
joke.
She's like,
There
it had
was
its moments.
That was a great little jab right there. Nice little joke she threw in.
Yeah, it had its moments.
Evil.
That was good.
What? Joffrey died? What?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
alive. What the
Hey,
heck?
real quick before we do move on, though, I just want to go back to that last picture. You don't have to go back to it, but one of the things that to me drives home just how amazing the Jon Snow character is the fact that under any circumstance he really can find the right words. You know what I mean? And when she is challenging him, because just like you said, McBean, when she's challenging him, like, we made you king of the North. That was basically what she was saying is, you just spit in our face. We just put you on this pedestal and you toss the pedestal aside. That we're not cool with that. But his response was, I had a choice to keep my crown or protect the North, and I chose to protect the North. How do you argue with that? Like, that was one of those moments where I was like, I love this character. I love the writing. Like, you just crushed it, man.
Yep, it shows you that just being in, having power isn't his number one thing, right? It's protecting his people. Just because, it's solidifying that he's an honorable character,
Yep.
Yeah, he wants to do the right thing.
That's right.
So, but this one here, I mean, again, it's just great. Are they still married? I don't understand how it works in the Game
I
of Thrones
think
universe.
technically they still are. As far
But
as
she
I
got
know.
married again.
That's
She
true.
got married to Ramsay Bolton.
Yeah, but that guy sucks.
It doesn't count. Yeah. She's not married to either one, I guess, right?
I'm with Sam. I'm with Sam here. It wasn't consummated, so technically, yeah, they didn't get married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These two. The other one, I guess, doesn't matter, right, anymore.
Yeah, he's dead. It'll be interesting to see how these two interact, though, for sure. We'll see.
Yeah, there's a lot of tension with all these different relationship connections throughout this whole episode. You just see one after another, and it's just like, are they going to be cool with each other? Are they not going to be cool? We're going to talk about more of that with there are a couple more reunions here in a minute. But yeah, this was an interesting one. In fact, let's go on to the next one. This was probably my favorite one.
Yeah, this was a great reunion.
Yeah, like you
man.
said, and Paul, you even said earlier, you're like, yeah, we're going to get to it. This was amazing. This embrace was amazing because let me tell you what I see here. So, one of my favorite shows, as everybody knows, is the show Friends. I love the show Friends. And when they had their series finale, it was an interesting moment because the characters were put in a position where the actual storyline was the characters needed to be emotional about an event of Chandler and Monica moving out, whatever. Anyways, they had to be emotional about it. But what was amazing about the scene was it wasn't the characters. It was Matthew Perry. It was Jennifer Aniston. It was David Schwimmer. That's what I saw here. And I know that sounds silly, but I don't think that these two have had any kind of reason to be in the same room more than probably a handful of times in the past 10 years. So I think that this not only was it the characters reuniting, there's no reason for these two to be anywhere near, these two actors to be anywhere near each other. So this was one of those moments where like we have not been allowed to do a scene together in a very long time. So I think there's some very genuine human emotion in this scene here.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Like I said, season 1, episode 2 is when he gave her needle, when he said
Yeah.
goodbye to her, right?
Wow.
And like who was it that said it? Yeah, Entity said, right? Show me yours and I'll show you their swords. Wasn't that great, right? She shows him needle,
Yeah.
and he asked her that question. I hope you haven't had to use it, or And she's like a couple times,
Yeah,
and
once or
little does he
twice.
know, he doesn't know what she is, what she's capable
He has
of.
no idea.
He's about to find out,
Once
obviously.
or twice. Yeah.
She has killed
Wow.
more people than he has, and and he's an amazing fighter, and if they went hand to hand battle, she's probably going to win. Like it's one of those things. It's like,
You put your money on her, I would absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I just
and I wouldn't have had it not been for that scene against I want to always call her Brienne. I can't remember her. Brienne. That scene was amazing. And that was last season, but that scene I remember thinking, all right, this is a great scene because Ari's always, being growing up and becoming this increasingly dangerous and character, but when she showed Brienne, I could have beat you anytime I wanted. And Brienne represents one of the most deadliest characters on the show. I was like, these were the writers saying, just so you know, Ari's actually the awesome one. Like it was like they were just trying to get like, just so you know, for future reference, she's the most dangerous person.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's awesome. These two here. I mean, it just the look they both had too. I mean, there was I know some of you shed some tears probably. It was a good moment. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what the show's about. And these two
Mia
in the
mentioned
book,
something crazy. Go ahead.
in the books though, these two had a very strong relationship. In fact, when she's constantly thinking about him and he's thinking about her, and another thing in the book about Arya, which they really did not do anything with in the book, but she's a warg as well, right? So she's somebody who can go into an animal, right? And so, in the books, while she's over with the Faceless Men, at night when she's sleeping, she wargs into her dire wolf over in Westeros, and she's out there, hunting and so forth. Like in the show, Bran was doing that with his Summer.
Yeah, so Mia Khota mentioned that Macy Williams, the actress, is actually is left-handed in real life, so she had to learn to fight right-handed, which is crazy. That seems like it'd be a lot of work. And
That is cool.
Look how well she's done. So that's a pretty cool little tidbit. Thanks for throwing it out there.
I'm gonna give you a very similar tidbit.
Sorry.
Other way around.
Another little tidbit. So one of my favorite characters, Davos Seaworth, the Onion Knight. Right, I love that guy. In the books, it's I think it's his left hand that actually gets kind of cut off at the knuckles. But they didn't do that for him because he wasn't going to learn to fight with his other hand with that sword. So they just kept him being right-handed. He didn't have the dedication. Davos Seaworth. He's the one that Stannis cut his fingers off.
Oh
knuckles.
yeah.
He wasn't as dedicated as Maisie Williams apparently.
Ooh, ouch.
I love his character.
Oh man. So we got a pretty cool scene that comes up after this.
I don't know.
What do you mean? Don't you dare!
This
This was
went
great.
on about a minute too long.
No way. Disagree.
It was
I need you
cinematic.
guys to help me out in the chat here. What do you guys think? Oh, Evil, thank you.
Don't do that, Evil. Don't you boost up stupid McBean's stupid head. Thank you, Draconis.
It was a spectacular moment. I mean, but just the fact. Let's go back to the fact that the dragon let Jon on it to begin with. That right there should have been a sign to Jon, like, why is this dragon letting me ride it? Right? That should say something. He should have. Don't you think so? Don't you think he should have questioned, like, how is it that this dragon's cool with me doing this?
Well, it's more than that. If you think about it, Dany stands alone, man. She literally probably almost on some sort of weird level feels kind of like an alien because she's the only one that's like immune to fire. She's the only one that these dragons respond to. She's the only one that can ride them. And here was a moment where, like, imagine two bikers go out for a bike ride. This is what was happening in that scene. This was super fulfilling for Dany. It was probably the first time she wasn't actually alone in a very long time. And obviously, he was super scared, which I would be too. But they went on this, they went on a ride together. That's all it was. They went on a ride. And in that moment, dude, their world that they live in is so full of just awfulness that in this moment, they got to just take a vacation. And that's what they did. They went on a drive. And that's why I love that scene. I'm like, this is a great scene right here.
Yeah.
So-
Let it all go. Thought about something else. Did anybody else? I heard. I think my wife told me this, that Kit Harington actually got hurt during this clip. Anybody else read that?
What I mean, was
Is
it like
he
on like
aware
an
it's not a real dragon?
animatronic- Yeah, that's what I want to know. How did he get
Well,
hurt?
well, obviously he wasn't riding a real dragon,
bull.
but he had
Yeah.
he had some issues with things getting caught on things that
Oh,
that
Was the
would
Mallow
be
have it correct?
very painful. Yes.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Hey, so Skiz and Impulse. Let me ask you
is
guys a
he a
question.
eunuch now? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Do you guys know the name of the dragon he's riding?
Yeah, it's Skizzleman.
You wish.
It's his father's name, which doesn't come to mind right
it's,
now.
It's Rhaegal. Is
Rhaegal.
the dragon's name. His dad's name is Rhaegar, right? But it was
Okay.
named after his father. Her brother is.
Look at these people
you know.
crushing it in chat.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of interesting. That's the one that he took, right? It's the one that let him ride. Okay, maybe
these
this.
dragons are amazing, dude. But when they have those scenes where like it's a profile shot of like the dragon, like coming into the scene like this, and the teeth are like gnarly, and there's like one character's like, "Ooh," and when that happens, dude, and like when John reaches, can you imagine that? I mean, go with me on this journey. Imagine this in real life, where this giant beast that weighs like 50 tons and can breathe fire moves in, and each tooth is like this big. This is my son.
Thank you for using the sandal to demonstrate.
That's what you need. Can you imagine it getting that close to you, dude? Can you imagine how do you not just poop and pee yourself and just run away? I don't understand how he just takes it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Evil. Right there, guys. It's like, seriously, what if the dragon didn't like him at that moment? It's kind of like, hey, I enjoyed your company, whatever. I mean,
That's what
seriously?
she said. That's
I
what she
know.
said. It was awesome.
Seriously.
What does that
Are you
mean?
going to risk that?
What does that mean, though? I mean, was she just being like silly? Like she knew that he wasn't in actual danger or anything?
She can't
Or
communicate
does she-
with the dragons?
Or does she just like not care as much as she pretends about John?
I think here's what I think that is. I think she does care, obviously. I also think that in regards to how dangerous it was it like paled in comparison in regards to all the things that they both have already faced.
Yeah.
Like it was one of those things where she's like, "You're going to be fine."
Oh, I'm sure if
what
he
I
fell
mean?
off,
You're gonna be
somebody
fine.
would bring him back to life anyway, so it'd be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, so after this, they land and they have their moment, right?
Okay, so that's the part I think that was a little too much for me. The dragon flying was really, but it was kind of this moment where they're about to kiss and the dragons are looking at them.
They're,
Hold on.
Oh, there we go.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to say things. My wife actually brought this up because that moment was interesting. Because the reason they're accepting him is because they smell him, like they know something. They know something that he doesn't know, right? They're like, "You're one of us" type thing. I think that that dynamic of intimacy between him and Danny, I think even the dragons were like, "You're not supposed to be doing that."
No, I'll tell you, I disagree with you because
You
it
guys
is
are related.
okay for the Targaryens. That's like that's what they did. The Targaryens wed siblings.
Each other?
Yes.
What do you mean? Like just like really?
Yes, absolutely. The first Aegon had two of his sisters as his wives.
Okay.
They took over Westeros with their 3 dragons. So
Yeah.
it's like maybe
It's
they're
more
like,
just a
hey, it's
protective
happening
thing.
again.
I think this is
Okay.
just more of a protective thing. The looks they gave, like they're there to
Yeah.
protect her, and they're just like, we got our eyes on you. Like, don't you mess.
Okay.
You know,
that
our
makes more
mother.
sense. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that was like a thing that they did. So that actually, okay, I feel oddly better.
The awkward eye contact. Yeah, maybe a little awkward. I guess I could see that, but I thought it was okay.
Look at Evil. Evil's like, I don't know. I think he was smiling, and maybe that's what that was.
Oh yeah.
That's how a dragon smiles, I guess.
Okay, Channel 1, thanks for hanging out. They're moving on, so I don't feel bad
Peace.
anymore. That was weird. All right, let's move on. Going back down south.
Oh yeah.
That's Cersei. Let's
So,
see. Oh, I know this moment. Okay. Took me a second.
Euron is there. He's, telling her, hey, listen, I've done everything you've asked me to do. I
This
went and
guy
got you an
sucks.
army. I've done all of these things for you. looking for a little payback. You know what I mean? A little something. Need a little payback.
Yeah.
And she's like, nope.
And
even the mountain got in the way. I love when the mountain gets in the way.
Dude, it's creepy.
Yeah. She says, it's teen rated. I think I can say this. She says, if you want a whore, go pay for one. If you want a queen, you have to earn her. Right?
Yeah, that was another good line. That was a
great line. But the whole time she was kind of just putting on a front that she was gonna turn him down, right? Because here you see she turns around and she's like, "Well, are you coming or what?" Right?
Yep.
But this was all because she had a master plan, of course, that we see, transpire once the deed is done, right?
We're doing this. This is happening. Buckle up. I've always been able to, I think, maybe I can tell. What is his name? Is it Urine? I just want to call him
Euron.
Euron. I feel like I've always been able to tell when a man is probably attractive type thing. This guy, maybe it's because the actor is playing this character so well that I just hate him so much. Euron. I think I hate this dude so much.
He's doing a good job.
Yeah, and I asked my wife last night when we were watching. I'm like, so this guy sucks. Is he hot? And my wife's like, yeah, he is. I'm all, no, really? No. Yeah, see, dude, thank you. I was like, no way. I was like, what are you talking about? This guy sucks. Oh, wow. She's like, no, the character totally sucks. She's like, but that dude is hot. I'm like, what is happening? So I need some sort of look at there. Gofish says he's so horrible.
Now Skiz is like questioning a lot more about life and stuff.
Wait, I'm going to be a jerk in front of your wife, man.
What's with my wife's taste in men? Oh, no.
What? Am I urine?
Oh, well, there's a quote we can keep.
These people are saying no. They don't love it. Look at this. Poll started. Is urine hot?
You just spelled it urine. Jeez.
I know. What the heck?
Oh, my goodness. So we're gonna talk more about this scene, right? We don't move on from it. Okay. So they do their thing, right? And then he gets all like, how was it? Gets all stupid. What was up with that? Like, I mean, that was just solidifying how much of a, idiot he is. And, but then he goes on to say, I'm going to put a prince in you or whatever, right? And he leaves and you kind of see her rub her stomach and like smile a little bit. And that's when you realized she's just setting this up so she has an excuse for why she's pregnant, right? At least that was my thought. But there was one weird thing I noticed in the scene that kind of threw me off.
Yeah, she's drinking wine.
She's drinking wine again. So what's going on there?
I don't
weird,
know.
Right?
They never really. I mean, they had the innuendos last year that she was pregnant, but they've never flat out said it. And I think it was a ploy because it was Tyrion who secretly met with her.
Yep.
When he offered her wine and she didn't take it, and then he took that as, oh, maybe she's pregnant. And so I think he's got bad information and he's going to make bad decisions because of that.
Based on that. So you think she's not pregnant then?
I don't think she is.
It was a way. So she was setting that up, and it was a way for her to bond or to establish some sort of bond to where they won't, he won't be coming after her because he knows that she's, maybe carrying a baby and things like that.
I agree with you, Mkbean. Yeah. I really do agree because when she in the last episode of last season, when she reaches and touches her belly, I'm like, she is so deliberate and she is so calculated. It feels like she did that so that she could throw him. And I think you're absolutely right, dude. Which hopefully, I don't know if we have a picture of it, but later when Sansa is talking to Tyrion and she says, I used to think that you were the cleverest man I've known. And it was one of those moments, I don't want to spoil it, but she's talking about the fact that you seriously not know your own sister?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. We don't have a picture. And it was during that meeting of them. And it's true now. Like Sansa's like Arya said, she's like the smartest person out there. She's the one that can see what's really going on here from the politics.
Yeah.
And maybe it was Littlefinger who kind of ingrained that in her because he was excellent at it.
Maybe he was one heck of a teacher. In fact, before she had him assassinated, she even said, thank you for all your very many lessons.
Yep.
Wow. Oh, all right. So who knows? Time will tell on that one, but very interesting. There was a lot going on in that.
Yeah. When you're busy doing this, other things are bound to happen ship. All right, maybe you shouldn't be these things, and maybe you should be paying attention to what's happening. And this episode had considered a Game of Thrones episode. There's always a lot of deaths. This was like almost G-rated for or for Game of Thrones. I think
Yeah.
it really
Totally.
was. We get our first kind of death here, and it was about 12 guys, and Theon has always been good with arrow, right? If you remember, even back to the first couple seasons,
Oh, right.
he was really good with a
Yeah.
bow. He actually saved Bran's life with a bow early on from one of the wildlings who came there, and he saves his sister here, which a little overdue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that strike she put on him was, you knew that was coming too.
Thanks
Yep.
for taking your time, bro. Jeez.
Yeah.
That was good. That was good. And then she realizes that his heart is elsewhere, right? This is where they have their talk, or maybe it was, I can't remember if it was a scene.
It was a little bit later.
It was later.
And we don't have but she's like, hey, we're going to Iron Islands, right? We got to have a place where she could fall back, right? If she needs to. And I think what that sets up is Theon is going to have an honorable death. He is going to die.
Those spoilers.
I don't know. How do you know this?
I'm just
I
kidding.
really
This
right?
is all
I think
just
he's gonna-
McBean's conspiracy theories.
They're usually pretty accurate. Me and George, we go back. But no, I really do.
Love.
I think he's going to have an honorable death. He's going to, pay, he's got to. He's done so much damage to the Starks.
Yeah.
He really has, right? And I think he's going to save someone's life.
I'm inclined to agree with that. It's been one heck of a journey for him, and I know I've brought it up a million times, but the last episode from last season, watching it, which was so much fun, that scene between Theon and Jon, where they're talking back and forth. He's basically putting Jon up on a pedestal. He's telling him, like, you always know how to make the right decisions. And he goes, I know it feels that way, but I've made mistakes. And and Theon says, not compared to me. And Jon's all, nope, not compared to you. And they had this like moment where like they both were acknowledging, like, you're a piece of crap, but Theon, the character, was making it clear, like, I don't want to be this person. I want to be better. I want to be a better person. So you can say he's almost like been trapped his whole life in this cowardice vessel. And he's been given this opportunity to not only come out on top, but come out on top in a very big way. Winning is one thing, but being able to even stand on your own 2 feet after the abuse he went through with Ramsay is a totally different thing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a total, like, everything he's experiencing is like residual of what he went through with Ramsay. And he's slowly shedding that cocoon and becoming the butterfly or whatever. And this moment here in this picture with his sister, I dig it, man, because he fought all of his fears to get to this moment. And this is why this was a big moment for him. They're both, in my opinion, in this moment, he's freeing her and he's freeing himself. They are both becoming free in this moment. So I'm excited to see what happens with Theon's character. I think you're right, McBean. I think he's going to have a very honorable death.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's definitely on a mission to redeem himself. So it would be nice to see him go out with redemption.
Someone mentioned something in the chat, and I don't have a screenshot of this, but I do want to talk about it, just guys. And is in King's Landing at a lovely brothel, Bronn. Bronn was there, and Qyburn came, and it was an interesting scene because he came, on behalf of Cersei to say, hey, listen, both our brothers are gone now, and we're looking for help, take care of some business for us. And Bronn is a sellsword, right? Again, somebody who is for hire. What do you guys think? Do you think Bronn has loyalties to the Lannisters, or do you think he's going to take the big thing of money and do something?
I want him to be loyal, but
I don't think he has loyalty to the whole family. I think he has loyalty to certain people.
Well, yeah,
I don't think that he
the
would
two
want
people,
to.
the
And
two
I mean the
people
two.
that he was
I mean-
being ordered to kill. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's why I don't think he'll do it.
I don't think so.
I think
either.
we're going to see a shift in that character, because for me, it's like, how many times did he make that point? Did Bronn make that point? I'll go. It's all for me. Give me the money, I'll do whatever. As long as I'm supporting myself, that's all I care about is myself. And so this would be a point to flip that around for once in the storyline, and that's why I think it's not going to happen. I don't think he's going to kill them.
Yeah, I think Entity has it there in the chat. He's developing a conscience and is hating it. But it's true. Yeah. I think he's going to take that money and be like, hey, you got some money for,
Yeah,
he's getting paid.
that was an interesting scene too. We didn't do a shot on that one, but yeah, thanks for bringing that up. That was pretty cool.
Right, let's go back to our reunited.
Oh, another
so good.
Another moment that you just weren't sure. You knew it was coming at some point, but you had no idea how it was going to go down. And I don't know. I thought this one was interesting because I didn't imagine it just going down. Kind of like it was almost like a no big deal type of thing, where I thought it would be a bigger deal. But anyway, it was old friends here. What did it start with? You left me for dead, right? And she's like, "Well, I robbed you first."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, do you want to know what I got from that? Is the dynamic between these two? They're just the same person.
They really are.
Yeah, they're the same person. He's a big, giant, very deadly, scary man, and she's a little girl who is very, very deadly and very scary.
And they both understand you have to kill some people.
Yeah,
they really do. It's like he's like, hey, listen, you're going to kill people. Get used to it. And she's at that stage now as well. She killed her first, well, not her first person with it, but because that happened back there in King's Landing. But that one scene, I forget what season it was, when they went to the Crossroads Inn and, the Lannister men are there and all he wants to do is drink and eat. And they keep kind of prodding him and they fight, and they end up killing them all. And it's kind of like, you've got this young girl who just committed murder, basically. But at the end of the episode, you kind of smile because she finally has a horse, right? She's not riding with him. She's smiling because she's on her own little horse. So she's learned a lot from him. I think there's a mutual respect between the two. And I think someone mentioned it in the chat too. I'm glad they didn't make this a happy reunion. It wasn't like, hey, what's up, high five. It was respectful. And I think you're going to see more of these two together.
Yeah, there's a lot of history there on both the good and the bad. So, yeah, you just weren't sure what was going to happen. So I thought they handled it well. And we got another one with Arya here.
Yeah, Gendry.
Oh, boy.
Yep, Baratheon here. Now, here's what I think. Another prediction from being here. I think, they may get together later on. If there's a happy ending, I think the happy ending's with these two.
Yeah, there was a look.
They definitely had a bit of connection there that I think was pretty obvious, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
there was a look she had when he came into the scene.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah. I think they're a cute couple. You can already see it right here. They're a cute couple.
Yeah, but it was so funny because he's saying "my lady" and stuff. Exactly how he was when he found early on in season 2 who she really was. It's a great relationship between these two.
But she came there for business, not just to flirt with him, right?
I think so.
She had something she was asking of him, and I think we got a good look at what she was asking for if you guys missed it. So we've got a close-up here of what she was asking for. Check it out. Let me do this. Can I get it around? Let me rotate this guy.
Oh wow, you're gonna rotate it. So yeah, what is this? Is this whoa? Yeah.
You see that? Well, that definitely says dragon glass.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it's like a spear that's detachable. Is it a blow dart? I don't know.
I know. It looks like a blow dart where there's a little bit of dragon glass on the front of it.
Or is this the handle of the blade that she's already carrying? No?
I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't have as much shape, does it? Just on the very end there. But that was my first thought. This was the handle of her dagger, and she just wants to be retrofitted with dragon glass.
I think like Boy Genius here. I think it's like a spear with a detachable option. I really do, and so I think
so
she learned to
put
fight
that like on an arrow or something, or
well, no. Remember, she learned to fight with like sticks, right? She had like these sticks when she was blind, right? She was fighting with that stick in the picture that was behind Impulse right there. Absolutely, and so maybe that's what she's doing. But then she has a detachable portion where she can go in for the kill. Maybe I don't know.
Interesting.
But, yeah, it could be an arrow. It could be like a blow dart. I also think she's going to be the one that takes the Night King out.
I love your predictions. We should keep track of Mkbean's predictions and see
And
at the end of the season how many he got
2%.
right, how many he got wrong.
Samuel Tarley will sit the Iron Throne.
I actually considered that, but I don't really know why I did.
Well, since you brought up Sam, let's go ahead and talk about Sam. That was a good,
Oh man,
good little segue there, Mkbean.
what
well
a
done.
scene here!
This
You know,
was brutal.
she comes in to be like, "Hey, I want to thank you. Saved my man Jorah's life. You know, you did what other people wouldn't do." And he's like, "Yeah, all right, no worries, you know." And you know, I'm a little bit of a crook myself, so maybe I can get a pardon. And she finds out who he is, crushes him, which is odd if you think about it, because he never had a good relationship with.
Okay, agree. That was the only part of the story that was a little bit off for me, because I'm hoping that he just misses his brother more than his dad, because his dad sucks.
But he was broken up over his dad, because I thought the same thing.
Yeah,
But I guess it's family, right? And you know, yeah, man.
yeah, that was especially. I mean, maybe with the prospect. Wait, did she explain how they died?
Yes. Well, I don't think she said she burned him. I don't remember that.
That was a vicious scene too.
I thought she did actually say that she burned him. Yeah.
She did? Oh man.
Yeah, so maybe I don't know. Maybe that was part of it. But I'm with you, Mkbean. I was like, what? I'm not expecting him to be like, yay, but he was tore up, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
they sucked.
Yeah, it was some really, really good acting from him, I
Yeah.
thought, you know, and just, and even she's kind of like, this is awkward. What do you do? I mean, how do you
Right.
how do you go from that?
She just straight up delivered the information too. This is what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah, she's
Deal
just so
with it.
matter of fact. Like, no sympathy there.
I think there was plenty, but I think that she has to stay separated. I think that she has a great heart. I really do. I think that in those moments, she's aware that the information has to be delivered, and that is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to deliver it, you know.
And I just realized we don't even have. What am I thinking? We don't even have a picture of like literally the moment of the show, which is right after this. Sam goes out, sees Bran, and says, you know, he's like, "What are you doing out here?" He's like, waiting for an old friend. But he's like, "Hey, you need to go tell Jon who he is."
Yep.
And he's like, "You tell him, your family." He's like, "No, I'm not family. Your family, right?" Because
You
they're
tell him.
brothers. They're brothers of the Night's Watch, and so then he goes into the crypts of Winterfell to tell Jon his heritage and who he is, and Jon is in straight up denial. Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, obviously he's going to believe him, but I mean, how do you prove something like that? You know, you read it in a book.
Mhm.
I mean, where does it go from here? Because eventually other people are going to need to know. Obviously, she's going to need to know. But so is the rest of the North.
Yeah.
They're all going to need to know as well what's going on here. And what was interesting about the scene was, you know, he had mentioned that, you know, he found out that his father and his brother died. And Jon kind of stood up for her for a minute, right? Saying, well, she's the queen. She's got to do these kind of things. And he's like, well, you wouldn't have done that, right? There's a difference between Jon and Dany.
Yeah.
Where Jon, like you said, you let all the wildlings go. You know what I mean? You freed all of them, even though they were your sworn enemy. And that's the big difference between Jon and Dany. And I think you're going to see some of that in the next episode as well, that I'll talk about a little bit later. Another one of my predictions here. But yeah, it was a touching moment, right? That, you know, hey, your mom is really somebody who you didn't think it was, and so is your father.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
that's the part that really sucks, right? He grew up, he idolized Ned. That was his dad, the most honorable man in Westeros, and that's not your father anymore.
Yeah. Big
It's
time.
amazing.
But that doesn't change your identity. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're still who you are, and you still can care for that person.
Yeah, I can't believe we didn't have a picture of that scene, but yeah, that was one of the big climax moments, of course. Crazy.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it plays out. It has to happen in the next episode. See how it plays out. Hey, you.
So how are things?
All right. Well, we can stop laughing now because it gets gruesome.
Little Ned.
Oh man.
Oh, dude.
Crazy.
First off, it was great to see these guys are still alive. right? Because you weren't entirely sure when the wall went down if Tormund and I can't remember his name now. If the other guy with the flaming sword, if he was alive, right? You didn't know. Obviously, you had your suspicions, but
they're like cockroaches, dude. They just don't go away.
So okay, here's the thing, right? These guys are going through this, castle or whatever, right? And it's like dark hallways.
Last Hearth is what it was. It was in the opening credits, actually. So in the opening credits, what you showed at the beginning, with the wall down, and as the camera kind of pans into Westeros, the tiles change from white to blue. And that's kind of the path and where the Night King is. And that went right to the last Hearth, which was right here. And so it'd be interesting in the next episode to see, okay, where do those tiles, how far do they continue down now?
You can get a lot of info from that opening graphic.
Dondarrion.
The whole time they were going through here, what's the name of the dude with the sword that he can light up?
Beric Dondarrion.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Dondarrion. So he's going through, it's dark. Nobody can see a thing. I'm like, you're carrying a flashlight, basically. Turn it on.
That's what I said. I'm like, turn your sword on. Turn it on. Oh, we forgot to charge it.
Yeah, batteries are dead. I left my charger at home. Back at the wall.
Look at this. I said the same thing, Evil says.
Oh man. Yeah, I thought that was funny. But yeah, what's up with this graphic? So this symbol
it's been a couple times we've seen this, actually.
But no, does nobody know like what it means, what it represents? I didn't see anything.
Not really. That. So we saw this like this was the same. The children of the forest would have this symbol. Even like the way the trees were when they created the Night King, it was in this thing on the paintings on the wall in Dragonstone with that symbol was there. But what's interesting, what I see here, and what I noticed, and this is not it, but what I noticed is if you look at some of the Targaryen sigils, it's very similar to this as well, with the dragons. Of course, it's more 3 heads, but there's fire. I don't think it has anything to do with it. But when I saw that, I'm like, oh, is there something going on here? Maybe with Targaryens, but I don't think so.
Well, you said that you've seen it with the Children of the Forest, and they're the ones that did this, right?
Yeah.
And so it's got. I don't know what it's supposed to mean or whatever, but that was a very, very dark, twisted scene.
Yeah, and that kid would not. Oh, the sounds.
Oh, it was so high pitched. It reminded me of a stupid little kid in Minecraft.
Well. Oh, all right. So
my favorite reunion happened next.
Oh man.
Oh.
This was my favorite reunion of the show. And I loved it, right? Because again, the previous night, that's what Bran said. And once he said it, I knew it. He said it too. And when he said, I'm waiting for an old friend.
Oh, that's who he was waiting for.
And that's what I mentioned earlier.
I missed that part.
So can Bran see into the future now?
Good point. Let me ask you this, homie buddy. So what do you think Jaime's thinking right there? Do you think he's like, that's the kid I pushed out of the tree? Well, or do you think that he's like aware that there's something deeper here?
At this moment, did he think Bran was dead? Because I think we talked about this. Skiz,
I believe so. I think he did. I think he thought Bran was dead, or I don't know. I don't remember if he's ever heard anything on that.
You don't know if what?
I don't know if he ever heard like whatever happened to Bran, because everyone thought he was dead, really, right? I mean, he went beyond the wall. People thought he was dead. People thought Theon killed him and Rickon. So I don't know,
how
that news traveled. But you look at him here and he's like, oh, that's Bran. And so, yeah, I mean, the next episode has to start with this, right? I mean, what does he do?
Loki says that's 1 eye out of 3. So if he's a 3-eye raven, he sees the past, present, and future. Right?
Ooh.
That makes
sense.
But
if he sees the future, then doesn't he know exactly what's going to happen? And like, hey, you know what you should do? Probably, put this sword over here and do this catapult over there. And
that's just it. Is I don't think he has like complete control or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah. Put this over there. Bring that over there. That's what he does.
Yeah, exactly. But to me, this was great, right? Because again, this is how it all started. This is what got me caught on this show, right, was the end of the first episode. You know, he climbs up and he sees and he finds him and Jaime or Cersei there, and he grabs him by his collar, right, or his shirt, and they're talking and stuff, and he looks at Cersei and he says, "The things I do for love," and he pushes him out.
Yeah.
And it's
that
like,
scene was brutal, dude.
Yeah.
but that's what I love about this show.
Yeah, well, no, finish that thought because
It's just like so many episodes. Like this is what allows you to binge watch this show, is because like an episode will end and you're like, oh my, I have to watch the next episode. I can't believe what just happened. You know?
Yeah. Well, see, and for me, the reason I love this show is because when Jaime Lannister did that scene you're talking about, I was like, well, this guy sucks. Like that, this guy's pure evil. This guy's the worst thing ever. First of all, he's doing things with his sister he should be doing, and then he just threw this kid out of the tree. Like, this is awful. I remember thinking, I hate this guy. I hate him. And just like that, like I'm in his camp. I'm like pulling for him.
Yeah. This is what I love. I mean, it's a sign of a good author that can write a character, and the character arc Jaime Lannister has throughout this entire series is amazing. Yeah. I mean, he is the biggest jerk ever. Yeah. And you know, and throughout this process, and honestly, he had to lose his sword hand for this to happen. If he wouldn't have lost his sword hand,
he was humbled.
Yeah, exactly. None of this would have ever happened if that. You know.
That's a good point.
Remember that scene? They did it. They couldn't have done it better when the dude chops his hand off and then he screams and it cuts to black for the credits. I was like, what?
That's what I'm saying. That's how this thing ends, and it's like, and that's how the chapters end as well. You're like, you can't end this chapter. I got to read the next chapter, and of course, it's always another character, another viewpoint, and you don't know what the heck just happened.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, so yeah, that was great ending here. Him coming to town and makes you start thinking, what the heck is going to happen now? Because there's so many people in King's Landing that just do not, or Winterfell, sorry, that do not like this guy, and we get to see the trailer for the next episode right after this, right?
Yeah.
And you really see stuff's going to be going down with Jaime. And let's watch it together. Can we watch? You guys want to watch it together? All good? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can watch it. I think I got it. See if there's volume.
Oh, this is an HBO show. Okay.
Child, my brother would tell me a bedtime story.
I gotta do something on my
thing. About all the things we would do to that man. He never should have trusted Cersei. You never should have either.
Dad, it's got many faces. I look forward to seeing this one.
How long do we have? Before the sun comes up tomorrow.
Oof. It's not a lot of time.
Oh boy. So, a couple thoughts here. One, so yeah, it starts off with Jaime, right? That he's there, he's in, he's in Winterfell right there. He's basically on trial almost, you know what I mean? In the middle.
Yeah.
Dany's in the middle. You got Sansa and you got Jon on the sides, right?
This reminds me of the Littlefinger deal, right?
Exactly. And is that the bottom left there? Is that Tyrion's head there? I can't tell.
I think so. Yeah, I think you're looking right.
Little curly hair. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it looks like Tyrion. On the right hand side, you got Davos. You got Lyanna Mormont. You got the guy from the Vale. Looks like
Brienne is back there.
Brienne is down in the very back. I'm not sure who's between them.
Yeah, who is in between them?
This one right here.
Probably Barbara. Not quite sure.
Barbara. That's Lisa.
Just an extra. So here's what I think is going to happen, right? So Dany is looking at the man who killed her father. Okay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's the Kingslayer. She, even though, I think she's going to want to kill him. Now, I don't think that's going to happen because I think it's one of those things, again, where I think Jon is going to be that person, that voice that says, no, again, we need every willing body. And this is somebody who wants to fight for us. And I think he does. I think Jon is going to this is where he's going to kind of go against his or her wishes.
Yeah.
Somebody had said in the chat here that Tyrion's going to defend his, there it is, Boy Genius. Tyrion will probably defend his brother. I agree with that.
Oh, I'm sure he will. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else we got there? Alyssa Karstark. Yeah, it could have been the other little, poor Ned. Yeah.
This is
you think so? You think Sansa will be the voice of reason? Interesting. And
to
yeah,
Bran.
look, and maybe Bran too. I think obviously Bran's gonna have
Yeah.
some input here.
There's just so many people that hate this guy right here. Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think Bran hates him.
He does. Well, Bran's gone, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah, Bran's
Yeah.
gone. That's not Bran. So I don't think that character. I don't even know what to call him anymore. The three-eyed Raven
Three-eyed Raven
doesn't hate anybody. Doesn't like anybody.
So why do you think he
just
was so
is.
intent on being there when he showed up then?
For no other reason other than the fact that he's supposed to be. Like that's all I got. He's supposed to be.
It's
you
that,
know?
and I think it's the fact that he understands. Like this is the war. He's on John. You know, he understands what John said. This is it. If we don't win this battle, we lose.
Yeah. I think my whole desk was moving.
Yeah, so couple of different shots of that scene. That's gonna be a good one. And then
That's probably a scene where he's seeing his brother. See, here's the BFFs talking. I'm telling you, they're gonna be BFFs.
oh, she little side stare coming back at her now.
Yeah.
Well, that's because I think like they mentioned, I think they're gonna defend Jamie for some reason.
Look at that look.
Uh-oh. Now
Preparing for the battle.
People are running. They said, till the sun comes up, right?
Yep.
That's all they had. So
Yeah,
looks
which
like,
day that is, who knows? But yeah.
Prepping more weapons going on. We got looks like could have
What kind of
some
swords they have there? Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, it's very dark, right? So
What is that?
it's a sword.
It's a sword, but I don't know. Is it like
I feel bad for this dude.
because he doesn't get Danny?
He just wants to go on one date. He wants to
One
take her to
date?
Taco-
That's all.
He wants to go to Olive
He
Garden
wants
with
to
her
have
one
Taco
time.
Bell with Daddy. Yeah.
That was probably the
I moved
awkward
it to Olive
reveal. By
Garden.
the way, that was probably the awkward reveal of, "Hey, you're my aunt," and she's like, "I don't care."
Yeah. No, what would be best if it would be the best if she was like, I know.
Yeah.
Why do you think I made this happen?
Oh wait, go back.
Yeah, who we got?
So maybe
Arya
it's
shooting
Arya
at
with
here.
an
Family
bow.
tradition.
Is there a special tip on there?
Well, I'm sure it does, but I don't know. Yeah.
Ooh. That's got the dragon glass.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like they're all just getting their dragon glass weapons, right?
Yep.
You know what they need to do? They need to build giant Gatling guns that shoot only dragon glass bullets.
Oh, she releases this arrow. Maybe she was just doing
Oh.
target practice.
Probably target practice right now.
Maybe. I cannot wait. And I'm gonna miss the next one.
See, they made it back.
No.
Tormund. Yep.
Do. You know what?
So they're faster than the White Walkers because they were in their
They have horses.
trail. Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
Hey, remind me,
Oh.
what that redheaded guy, the red-haired guy, what's his name?
Tormund Giantsbane.
I love his how he gravitates towards Brienne. I love that whole thing.
Yeah,
Every time he
that's-
sees
That's the reunion we want to see next time.
yes.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm just gonna say it. I hope he makes it happen. I think he deserves it.
We got more reunions here. Well, I guess not a reunion, but
Yeah,
this is we're gonna die tomorrow. We better make the most of it. I think going on here.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, he is my nephew.
Yeah, that's the meme right there. Oh, I think I did stuff with my nephew I shouldn't have.
Oh my gosh. She's just now remembering. Oh, I changed his diaper. All right, enough. That's terrible. Stop being terrible.
Man.
What's he seeing here? He looks shocked. Like, what is he seeing?
I think it's this is now the morning again, right? So
Look at evil. John's head has got it going on.
I agree. But it looks like yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, definitely
It's got to be White Walkers.
it's a look of fear. I think
I
the
don't know.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
think is that it?
nope. Last shot of them just looking over the
Oh.
wall.
Tyrion, looking all.
That was it.
So what I do know, just from doing some reading, is that episode 3 is going to be like the big battle episode. So that's like the Battle of Winterfell is going to happen in episode 3. So I don't think there's going to be that battle in this second episode coming up. But it's like literally the longest battle scene on like in TV history.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. Again, the episode's like an hour and 30 minutes. Pretty much that's the entire thing.
Wow. I can't wait, dude.
You're going to be like just worn out when that gets done. Like just done. Yeah, exactly, Sam. It took them 11 weeks to film it. Not only did it take them 11 weeks to film it, they filmed it at night in the cold for 11 weeks.
Ouch.
So what we need to do next week is we need to figure out who are our guesses for who's going to die, because there are going to be some characters you love that are going to die.
No, they'll all be fine. Game of Thrones doesn't kill people.
What a great start. What a great start. I mean, it wasn't like the action-packed, stuff we're used to, but it was definitely making some bridges, right? So that we're going to get there.
Yeah, they had to bring everyone together, and they did that successfully, I think. And it's only going to just roll from here.
Yeah, it's going to be a great season. I'm kind of bummed it's only 6 episodes, but I think they're going to be epic, so.
Yeah, they better be. They better be.
So that's all the material we have. I guess final thoughts?
Final thoughts is I'm going to do everything in my power to be able to join next week, even if it's audio only, but I will be in Alu.
Yeah, you're going to be in Hawaii, dude.
It's going to be like, it's a 3-hour time difference.
You ain't thinking about this.
Yeah.
It'll be midnight there then? Or am I going the wrong direction?
No, wrong direction. It's going to be like 5 o'clock for him.
Oh. Well, maybe you don't have a... Yeah,
you'll be fine.
You better be calling in from Hawaii on the beach.
Yeah, exactly. All we hear is the waves crashing.
I want to be on the Game of Thrones. I'll even be one of the Unsullied if I have to.
No, wow. That's
dedication.
So yeah, it's probably just I'm guessing Skiz. You could try, but I won't hold it against you if you can't make it. You're in Hawaii, man. I don't expect you to call into this, but
we'll cross that bridge.
Mkbean and I will hold down the fort if we have to. But I'm not missing the episode, that's for sure.
Oh no. Hopefully you're going to be able to watch it in Hawaii.
Yeah, that might be
I
tough.
don't think I will be able to. Actually, that's a good point.
Yeah, you're not calling in if you haven't watched the episode.
Yeah, God, no.
I come in, I stream with you guys the whole time. The entire time of the stream, I'm all, shut up! Stop it! Stop it!
Right? Oh, man.
The whole time. Blah.
Oh, boy. So, yeah, I think that was a good start getting this back up. We were definitely rusty. I mean, it's been, like we said, almost 2 years since we've done one of these recap streams. But they're so
rusty.
fun. Thanks for pushing us along. A few people here were like, you guys got to do this. And so finally, like last second, should we do it? Okay, let's do it. So I'm glad we did.
Here's the best part about this. The episode's 52 minutes. We went about an hour and a half.
I know.
What are we going to do when it's an hour and a half episode?
We only spent
midnight.
We only spent half the money they did on production.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Just half. Yep.
Right.
All right.
All right. So let's if there's any moderators around, let's see if there's anybody to raid. I think I saw Brody might be streaming. Brody Man. That would be cool if he is, because Brody's awesome. I think I saw something pop up on my phone a little bit ago. Yeah, let's do that, Brody Man. If he's still streaming, can somebody check real quick?
Somebody who has the technology.
He is streaming. Okay, let's pop some links. Let's go raid Brody Man. I don't even know what he's playing, but he's awesome, so it doesn't matter. But go say hi, and thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys again next week. That was a lot of fun.
All right, guys. We'll see you.
See you guys. Too much fun. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.